Hello! Thank you for being in a new video. This time I have the Realme Dosi Pro Plus with me. I'm going to tell you what I liked most and least about it after testing it in case you're considering buying it. So as always, let me tell you, don't buy the Realme 12 Pro Plus without watching this video. Let's consider its launch price in Mexico, which has been 9,699 pesos. On the screen, you see the reference price in dollars to get an approximate idea. But remember that the prices here are not the same as over there. I must anticipate that it is a very competitive price, especially considering several of its features that stand out a lot and far exceed its competitors. But remember that this will be a brief summary of what I like the most and the least. However, I have the full review available in case you want to know it in much more depth. Let's start with what I like the most. It features a curved screen with double reinforcement. It is a screen that is not only attractive for the fact that it has this curvature, which makes it look like a more premium device, but it is also very resistant. I have already tested other Realme devices with this same technology, and believe me, it is difficult to break it in case of a fall. That point can become very attractive to many people. Although it is not Gorilla Glass, but Realme has really decided to incorporate this doubly reinforced glass. From my point of view, they should give it a name to put a little more marketing to its distribution. They could have perfectly well put something like Realme Glass or something similar, but for some reason they didn't put a special name to this glass that is very attractive. It also integrates a very nice design with synthetic leather and also with a very attractive contour in the camera module and with a dividing line that gives another very good aesthetic touch. The truth is that it is a device that does not look like a budget device. It feels like a high-end device. It also integrates stereo sound. Although this is to be expected in the range, I think if it did not have it would be something we would criticize, but I highlight it because there are still some other manufacturer who dares to put mono sound here. The photographic system really looks like a high-end device. That is, it has ultra-wide camera, main camera, and periscope camera. In both the main and periscope, it is capable of cropping the sensor for optical quality, even at other focal lengths. So, overall, it is a super versatile camera that will give you very good pictures from different angles. For example, the 6x zoom still has optical quality and looks great. The maximum zoom is 120x. I really like the indoor pictures. Outdoors, they also look good. So, I think overall the photographic system is going to be very good. Although I think it is still a camera that could be improved through some updates that I hope they will send, but really at the hardware level, it is a very good photographic system. Also, the shutter responds very fast. That can help you in action scenes, or if you want to take pictures in some sport or something, you can perfectly shoot. Although at 6x, it might be a little bit harder to define moving objects. You might get a little swept out, but that's normal for such a high zoom setting. The built-in document scanner is more advanced. That is, it not only allows you to automatically crop the document, but also allows you to apply some color filters to make it look with different styles, giving a very nice touch, and of course you can export it to PDF. If you're shooting full HD video, it allows you to switch between the three cameras. That's a very positive thing because you have a wide zoom range. From the ultra-wide camera to the periscope camera, and you still have excellent quality throughout that range. Although this is not supported in 4K, but I think for the price range it's pretty good that in full HD it allows us to do this. It also includes a dual recording mode. That is, it allows you to display the rear camera and the front camera at the same time in different styles of view. This can be very useful for content creators. The in-display fingerprint reader responds very fast. You can change its animation, and it comes with many security options. Among them, for example, a child mode that does not usually come in other devices or in most of them. So, you can confidently lend your cell phone to a little one, and you can set time limits, which applications can be used and which applications cannot, and other things. You also have an app lock, secure folder, and a lot of other things. So really, the experience is very extensive. It even has collaboration with Avast when doing a malware scan, so it comes well protected. The 67-watt charger is included in the box. It also gives us options like smart charging or charge lock. So, in addition to being a very fast charge, it's going to give us options so that as users we can choose if we want to give the battery more protection so that it lasts much longer. The proximity sensor is physical. This is something less and less common, but fortunately this device still retains this physical proximity sensor, keeping a good use of the front part of the front. It has a multi-screen connect to use it directly on your computer. Although this tool must be installed manually on the computer and you must follow a linking process that can be a little more complex than we would like. Obviously, the ideal would be for Realme to take out its own computer and everything would come perfectly configured for interaction without any complex configuration. But in this case, Realme does not yet have computers on this side of the world. So we have to stick to this installation process. But fortunately, it does have the technology to interact with a computer. It includes 512 gigabytes of storage. That is also a super good point because there are few devices on the market that offer you this storage capacity. And at this price, it is something that definitely stands out by far over many competitors. The processor, despite not being the great wonder, gave us a good performance in both applications and games. I guess I could not define it as a gaming specialist, but at least I think the performance in the price range is pretty good. But let me tell you what I didn't like. Their sale is exclusively online. You know that usually when the sale is online, they can adjust the price much more, but consequently, it is not as easy to get it as when you go to a department store or a phone company so you can try it and feel it in your hands before buying it. The equalizer only works with headphones plugged in. Although it has stereo sound, you don't get to take full advantage of this experience because you can't further customize the sound. The 50 megapixel pictures I feel need a little more optimization. I mean, I've tried devices with 48 megapixel cameras that give me more level of detail than this 50 megapixel camera gives me. So it's not that it's a bad camera, but I think it could be even more optimized. Photographs with 1 and 2 X's bring some distortion in the corners, especially in the upper right corner. I don't know why this happened, but it generates a very strange distortion there. Although this is getting very demanding in trying to appreciate all the details of each of the areas of the photograph. In backlit photographs it performs well, but at the 6x zoom setting it's not so amazing. In this setting you will see that the background is burned a little more, so I think it requires a little more optimization because I insist that it has excellent hardware. It is simply a matter of some updates to finish perfecting the experience. The stabilization when recording video is simple. While we said that in photography comes to stand out a lot, I think the video is not as high level as we would like. Because it is very noticeable when you're walking and not to mention when you're running, no matter how hard you try to stabilize it. The front camera only records in full HD and has no stabilization. The truth is that this subtracts too many points, considering that there are other devices in this price range that already record in 4K, also with stabilization. Generally, there are some devices where if you want to record in 4K, stabilization is disabled, but if you record in full HD, stabilization is enabled. But in this case, even recording in full HD, it's not able to give us something stable. So, for content creators who want to record themselves only, I wouldn't really recommend it that much. The ultra-wide camera is also a bit easier on video recording, especially at night. It's very noticeable that it's not able to collect much light to speak of, although at the price we couldn't get too picky either, but I'd like you to know that. Likewise, the periscope camera suffers a bit more at night, especially when recording video. You will notice that the focus may struggle a bit and it is not able to expose the darkest areas well, although we would demand those details from much more expensive devices. But generally, at this price, no manufacturer includes a periscope camera, so I haven't had the chance to review many periscope cameras at this price. The battery was no surprise either. In the tests I have done, it falls below what I expected, so I think this section has not left me so convinced, although I'm sure it could improve with another update. As you realize, I feel that it is a device that sounds very interesting, but it does need some updates to try to perfect the experience. Because the consumption that have applications running in the background, I think it is a bit high. If they manage to reduce the power consumption that they have to those applications that are running in the background, it would be much better. The processor is still not that well optimized for graphics. You are going to notice it because it is not as optimized in some effects of certain games. If you're one of the most demanding when it comes to graphics support, you're not going to have it any better here. And it exports videos a little bit slow, so I insist that maybe this processor is still very new. Hopefully, as time goes on, it will be getting more updates from both the manufacturer and the update developers to take more advantage of this processor. But if you already bought it, let me know your experience. Tell me if this processor has been good enough for you. But above all, tell me what you thought of the camera. because I liked it, although I insist that I feel it could still be better with some updates. Tell me if you agree with me or not. Tell me absolutely everything, because surely there are people who are also interested in buying this device and want to decide their purchase by reading your comments. Tell me also if you already dropped it to know the level of resistance that its screen has. For the moment, we have reached the end of this video. If you liked it, you know you can tell me about it, and we'll see you next time.